It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi, and as always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajilu Ugbo. How are you?
Good morning, ladies.
Nice hair. It matches your outfit.
Thank you.
Perfectly.
Hair by BC. How so big.
Really
You
nice.
know how we do. So Saturday, I rested a bit. I was able to take the kids swimming. We had this pool, and then I wasn't in the mood to jump into the water. I just watched them. They swam, went home. And yesterday, I walked from 9:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. I was standing all through because I was styling hairs for sales. I'm getting ready for the trade fair that's going to be happening at the TBS very soon. So I'm trying to put my inventory together. So it was a working first week for me. It's Sunday now, it's first day of the week. So working first week now, and I'm working back to back to the end of the year. Hopefully this weekend I would rest. Yeah.
Nice, nice. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm very good.
Yeah, you and BC are blonding today.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
I didn't know which spirits, whether I was going to be black or blonde, but we went blonde. So weekend was packed. On Saturday, once in a month, I do physical training. My company does physical training for our realtors. And we brought 2 facilitators to talk on digital marketing and town planning as important to real estate. So the realtors never knew how important town planning is to real estate development. And they didn't even know real estate companies should use town planners. So we had that. Then I went for a speaking engagement. I was at Leverage 4.0. I felt I over-prepared for this speaking engagement, actually, because the last one I did, I felt like I just won it, if there's a word like that. And even though people felt it was a good session, I knew that I didn't bring in my best. So this one, I over-delivered, Then the birthday party. Then yesterday was Mrs. Jumoke Adenowa's birthday. I was there. I love and celebrate you, Ma. She's an amazing leader. Then busy day, but I'm really, I don't feel stressed because everything I was doing, I love. So I'm happy to be here.
Nice. How you doing? Mariam, long gets me 2 whole weeks.
It's been just a few days.
2 weeks.
Just a few days.
2 weeks, girl. How you doing?
I'm fine.
I love the hair.
Thank you. So it's just, I had a few days off the show, just to, what they say, rejuvenate. I used the time to, spend with my family. I did some very deliberate family bonding things.
Oh, nice.
Spent some time with my mom away from the Lagos hustle and bustle. Went to the movies with her, my sister. I used the period to read a lot of books that we get here. I just sat down and I made sure I read my books. Really interesting books. I guess I'll be talking about them just during the week. And and then the Akifade Foundation had a competition.
Nice.
It's, if you were elected president, you're supposed to give a 4-minute pitch on if you were elected president, what you would do to tackle corruption. And I came 3rd place.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes, and I won some money.
Hey, when are we eating amala?
I'm taking you all out for pounded yam and amala.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Up for it.
And then, just a few things. And then there's a competition. I've been voted for something, and so the voting will start soon. I'll put it out. So it's just been
a lot of things happening in your life.
Interesting few days. Yeah.
I was at celebration yesterday. I was there till like about 2 this morning.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, man.
I
mean, this guy. Listen, Femi was off the hook.
Wow, his
Like,
performance,
2
right?
this morning, I'm telling you. I mean, Femi Kuti was off the hook. I mean, I've always seen this international performance, but I just like snakes. I saw it.
Experienced it.
Oh my Lord, we're missing.
Keeps getting better.
Oh,
and better.
sugar, the guy is off the hook. Like, I enjoyed the concert. He was a performer. The people loved him. There was a crowd. I mean, it was huge, it was packed. Leighton came in. I mean, I had fun. I was there.
It was later.
Leighton was there. Lots of artists. No, I don't know their names, but I was singing the songs. But they came there. It was really cool. YK got me a whole bottle of something. And YK was
Today is the day.
And my husband was not there. I was like, I was just feeling like, hey, Nami.
But you went home. Yes,
Hell yeah, I went home. I was there with one of my clients, and they're just chilling. It was good. I had fun. I was there till late. I mean, I thought I would be really heavy this morning, but hey, God, what got to go on, man?
Looks like you're going to be doing this more often.
You're
sort of buzzing from the thing.
No, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation. outrage over Atiku's "Don't vote for Yoruba Igbo" remark. Rivers ranks first in fiscal performance budget. Federal government plans special fund for flood victims. 603 lives lost, actually, to disasters. Ekiti Governor Oyebanji unfolds plans. Telecom's active voice subscribers hit 206.4 million. Lagos leads with 753 billionaire IGR collection. Tinubu to interact with northern leaders today. And Forex crisis worsens as Naira reserves drop to lowest levels. Okay, which story are we starting with?
So, federal government is planning special funds for flood victims. One of the ways that they are trying to mitigate the effects of flood. And they said a flood fund and a national policy on flood insurance would be what they are going to be doing. And a document on National Flood Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan was obtained recently, and it shows that the flood fund will be drawn from 0.1% of monies realized from crude oil accounts and 0.1% of taxes generated by the Federal Inland Revenue Service. And they're also expecting other funding from avenues like donations, endowments, grants, and gifts, and also emergency and disaster management related budget lines in ministries, departments, and agencies' budgets, ecological fund, any emergency fund, donor partner funds, any presidential directives or arrangement. This is a way of gathering all of these funds to ensure that they can cushion the effect for flood victims. So they are trying to have this national flood insurance, which means that people who are living in flood-prone areas will tap into this insurance to sort of mitigate if any flood happens. And they're going to be, the government is going to be paying from all of these accounts that they're expecting to get money from into that account to help these individuals who are living in flood-prone areas, to just help them sort out the issues, among other things they plan to do for them.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been away, but NDLEA is still there. 9 Ghanaians who were arrested for attempting to smuggle in over 10,000 kg of cannabis into Nigeria have finally been convicted and have been sentenced to 17 years imprisonment. That's for all of them. So each of them got about 7 to 8 years each, 8 to 9 years each in prison. And they were arrested by NSCDC, that's the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and then handed over to NDLEA. Then also, they said an expectant woman, a nursing mother, and the 200-level university students were among the people arrested with, so there's 28 persons that were arrested again with over 9,000 kgs of cannabis and over 130 tablets of opioids, pharmaceutical opioids, and NDLEA, just to show us NDLEA is working,
still working,
not giving up, and well done.
Okay, let me take the major headline. Atiku Abubakar trended all over the weekend. He attended a meeting with the Arewa group in the north, and where he made a statement saying that North does not need an Yoruba or an Igbo leader. In his exact words, he says, "I have traversed the whole of the country. This is what the Northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba, a Northerner doesn't need a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate. This is what the Northerner needs," saying that I stand before you as a pan-Nigerian. So he was selling himself as a Northerner. He's from Northeast, if you remember, Adamawa State. Of course, Ohanes and Nigbo has quickly replied to him, said that, you need to take that back and apologize, because you're not just for the Northerners. You are actually a Nigerian. You're supposed to be for all the various groups and cover all the ethnic groups. He said his remark brings his mindset out to the country. So they believe that that's how he inherently thinks of himself as a Northerner, not necessarily as a pan-Nigerian.
Well, I want to understand what he said exactly, because I didn't get it.
He said that he was talking to them that I have traversed, and I am what you need, not a Yoruba and Igbo man. So he played the ethnic card.
Okay.
If he had said, I am what you need, you don't need any other person.
I'm a Nigerian.
I am a Nigerian. He said, what you need, you don't need an Igbo, you don't need a Yoruba. Of course, APC also responded. They also responded. He said that his name was divisive, was an attack on the national unity. I think that he's actually proposing a regional campaign.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing, because I said it before. Like, these are our campaigns. We don't want it to have that ethnic coloring, but it's already having it. So someone say, yeah, Yoruba, yeah, Igbo,
it doesn't even make sense if you have a running mate that is from, a different part of Nigeria. So
we're not there yet as Nigerians.
So civil society, everybody, obviously, statesmen, politicians, ethnic groups, they've all spoken against what he said. They said that it's wrong, because this should be a campaign of unity, not of divisive plans.
A little bit of good news from Lagos State. So the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics yesterday released reports on internally generated revenue, which is extremely essential to any state being able to be self-sustaining. And Lagos tops it by wide margin. So in 2021, the details came out that Lagos generated internally 753 billion naira. And the distance between the next Lagos and the next person is Federal Capital Territory, and they generated 131 billion. So from 700 to 131 billion, it's a huge distance. And I remember in 2020 that Rivers was the second, also a huge distance, but they were second, and Rivers wasn't second this time. I think that we also need to, and Lagos has consistently grown. For the past every year, they are increasing
in IGR.
And that's a good way to measure productivity within a state that we're able to get.
Things. There are some national doing big things.
We need to have a list for just Lagos State.
Railway, airports, special seaports.
And that conversation needs to take place with the other states, that if your IGR is dropping, there's something is wrong within your collection system, and you can check it to improve, because every state...
All their able hands are moving to Lagos. Yeah. So young person goes to have a university, and instead of they're moving to Lagos.
They're not keeping them.
They're not doing anything to keep them.
Each state needs to keep them by producing, creating incentives for businesses to thrive.
Let's move to the punch. Fresh trouble hit article over anti-Yoruba and Igbo comment. Lagos female driver kills pregnant woman, 2 passengers. Oyebanji freezes Ekiti accounts, warns banks. CBN eyes 7,740 agents to drive e-Naira adoption. ASU varsities hold emergency meetings on resumption. FG says flood killed 603, blames states and local governments. Buhari budgets 248 billion naira for Lagos Ibadan Expressway and others. This Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Okay. Let's take another. Let's take a story.
Human interest story. So Saturday on Iju Ishaga Road in Agege area, a female motorist reportedly crushed 3 passengers, including a pregnant woman, a young girl to death, and an elderly woman. And according to the story, they said she was speeding past the road. During the weekends, that's busy road is usually full with people who are, moving around and doing business. And so some motorists were flagging her down to say, you're speeding, calm down. And before they realized this, she just ran into this tricycle, and 3 people died instantly. Then she didn't wait. She, continued on the journey and was running through on the bridge till commuters now started calling on taxi people around the area to intercept her. So they held her down, and then
they caught her.
Yeah, they caught her. They had taken her to the police. Just a painful story.
Really, really sad. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Mariam, go ahead, please.
So the new governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Abiodun Oyebanji, was inaugurated on Sunday, and the event was, there were so many dignitaries at the event, and the presidential candidate for APC was there as well. The newly inaugurated governor talked about his vision for the state, and just that he wants to continue on his predecessor, the work that his predecessor has done, and just make sure that Ekiti State is a peaceful and prosperous state with qualitative education for everyone. The presidential candidate for APC also made a speech, thanked the people of Ekiti State for voting the governor, and said that going forward for all the other elections, the people should shine their eyes and make sure that riggers do not steal their votes. And there's also a mention of the governor, the new governor, freezing the state government account, and they say that all accounting officers and financial institutions in the state should comply with this directive. And I was asking if this is like a normal thing that happens when a new government comes into play? Is it a way to audit, or is this just peculiar with Ekiti State? And what does this mean? I don't know.
Usually, no. What I know is that the PAMSECs are the ones that usually go pass around, because commissioners don't handle the checks, or maybe nothing.
Maybe trying to do.
So maybe just trying to freeze first and then do an audit to know exactly
before
we stand. I know that.
I want to take the story of Dangote and Kogi State. There's been a 10-day crisis between the Dangote cement in Obajana and the Kogi State government concerning the legality of the purchase of the land where the Dangote cement is situated. So according to the Kogi State's Commissioner for Information, he said that the Dangote did not follow due process in its acquisition of that land, and it is, for them, translating to asset grabbing. And over the past 10 days, they had closed down the plant, but the issue has been discussed. The Minister for Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, told journalists that an agreement has been reached between the Dangote Group and the Kogi State government on the need to reopen the factory, and they will then continue to negotiate in between. The conversation was obviously still continuing, but at least those that are working in Obajana can now resume this week, and we're looking forward to a proper resolution. Government need to realize that foreign investors look at the flip-flop of policies or changing administration or shocking changes like this, and it influences if they would invest or not. And we need to try as much as possible to make ourselves attractive for foreign investors, because we need that their inflow right now.
Okay, so as we know, ASU has suspended their strike on Friday. If you recall, the national president, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, was saying it yes on Friday that they called off the strike based on the court order, and that is why. But right now, some universities like Tai Solari have ordered the immediate resumption of their students. Others are having a meeting today, Monday, to discuss modalities of how to resume. But many, I think is OAU, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, others are still going to be having meetings today, while universities like Tai Solari, University of Port Harcourt, and Calabar and Kano have resumed immediately. So in this week, we should be getting most universities getting their opening days. Moving on quick now to the Vanguard. Actually, it should be Daily Sun. I've not seen Daily Sun this morning. Flood spreads more havoc, sorrow, and agony. Again, Rivers ranks first in fiscal performance budget, says budget. Oyebanji sworn in as Ekiti governor. Jonathan denies endorsing any candidate. NNPC expresses delight as Tompolo busts second illegal oil port pipeline in Delta. Ahead of 2023 elections, editors hold 2022 conference in Owerri. Mba outlines agenda for Enugu, promises to deliver people-focused governance. Tinubu Mogalu flay Atiku for asking North not to vote for a non-northern candidate. And Kanu Igbo lawyers tackle FG, accuses Malami of court contempt. Which story are we taking first?
There's a narrative going around that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had endorsed Atiku and Okowa presidential tickets. Yeah. And we're now hearing that it's actually false. That what happened was they went to visit him, got some delegations and delegates to pay him a visit, and they asked him to pray for them just to show support, which he did. And normally that visit, they were not supposed to have any media person taking pictures and photos and all of that. It was supposed to be just like, a coded meeting. Every presidential candidate has been going to, say hello, greet, the normal thing we've been witnessing. But unfortunately, that video was leaked, and it was leaked by, they call them hawks, people who were trying to, show that they wanted to use it to, present that he has endorsed the presidential candidate of the PDP, and that's what they have been saying. But they said because he's an elder statesman, he didn't want to come out and say, I have not endorsed anybody, but they are just putting it out there. And so they are whispering that he's probably liking the LP candidate, which is Peter Obi, that he has close relationship with him even from the time that he was president, but he has not come out to endorse any presidential candidate so far.
So I want to share the good news of what's happening with the pipeline. Yes, we really need good news. Like we all know that Nigeria according to a report earlier in the year, that we're losing over 50% of our crude oil exports through bunkering. And that was why they signed the contract. So the members of the newly established Coastal Areas Pipeline Surveillance Team are now being congratulated by the NNPC on discovering another connection. So this is a professional tapping. Like it's huge. They even said, according to the report, that this kind of oil theft requires action from the technical know-how carried in the fabrication by people who know where these things are located. It was an abandoned platform owned by the Nigerian Ajip Oil Company Limited. And this is the second major discovery. There was a 4-kilometer pipeline that was linked to the Trans-Forcados export trunk line, and the line takes it out to the sea. So vessels are shipping Nigerian crude oil illegally out of the country with no revenue coming to us. And NNPC is congratulating Tom Polo and his team for doing a good job, saying that the cartel, there are members of the cartel that are openly pumping crude oil into their vessels from our Trans-Forcados, that people must be involved. But our NNPC managing director is saying, thank you for helping us to discover a good job well done with the professionalism with which you are breaking all of this. This last one was in conjunction with the military forces, and we are hoping to have more and then increasing we the people, at the top, who are the ones now.
How do you sleep at night, knowing that you are robbing the whole nation of resources? How do you sleep
in your
at night?
ill-gotten mansions. That's how they sleep.
Okay, let me talk about the floods. So,
this flood issue is a major
Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, that's Sadia Umar Farouk, was having a press briefing yesterday. She mentioned the fact that we've had about 603 deaths as a result of flooding, and about 2.5 million people have been affected. Some have been displaced. About 1.3 million have been displaced. 2,400 suffered different degrees of injury. So she went actually on inspection across the country. She warned that Anambra, Delta, Cross River State, Rivers, Bayelsa were still not out of the woods, that they're going to be having flooding until the end of November. She also blamed that the state governments have not done enough to protect the citizens from flooding, because according to what she's implying here, that yes, the federal government can support with NEMA, but really flooding is a local issue. It's something where the state government should also take precautions to ensure that they invest resources on how to help the state citizens, on how to either find them places for displaced people, or get some kind of a palliative to support them. But Chief Edwin Clark here was saying that the federal government has practically abandoned many of the victims, especially from the Niger Delta region. The elder statements regretted that a lot of work has not been done by the federal government. NEMA has totally abandoned them, according to him. He felt that they were established to handle disaster management, but have not been able to visit the flood victims since this thing happened in Niger Delta. So this is something that, yes, they should do, but based on what the minister is saying, that flooding, yes, we can support you with NEMA and make sure that the major roads are cleared, but really and truly, the people are affected, and it's the state government, local government. This is one of the funds must invest.
I think it's even us. I think it's us. Yes, this is where it should go to. And individuals, our online, informing countries are raising funds to support flooding in Nigeria. And I'm not saying enough Nigerian CEOs raising funds to support these issues as well.
Even our local government chairman or even our state government have not seen the importance or the necessity or the need to use those funds as it's supposed to
prioritize it.
They divert and use other things.
Embezzle the ecological fund because they don't think that it has any impact. And then today, here we are.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard 2023. Atiku Tinubu hurled verbal missiles at each other. 70 corpses recovered in Niger boat mishap. Peter Obi says flags off campaign October 25th. 2023 NEDG, NSG, NESG to organize presidential debate on economic policy November 16th. Enugu 2023, Mba pledges quality, people-focused governance. NDLA naps pregnant woman, we talked about that earlier. I didn't write letter to AGF, not to free Nnamdi Kanu, says Ihe Dioha. Zamfara APC, PDP youth clash. Deputy Governor, police confirmed 1 dead and 18 injured. Ahead of 2023 general elections, all editors conference hold in Owerri. Okay, which story are we starting with?
So this is a sad story coming out of Minna. On Friday, a boat that was carrying 48 passengers had capsized, and as of the time of this report, 17 bodies have been recovered. Rescue mission is still ongoing to try and see what they can, they will find with the rest. They said that it was as a result of heavy downpour, accompanied by a violent windstorm that caused the accident. And so, we talk about how Lagos is doing a lot for the waterways, better boats, making sure that people are wearing their life jackets. And I don't know the situation in Niger State and in Minna, if those requirements are, things that they've put in making sure that their indigents of those states are safe when they move along the waterways. Sad.
Okay, we have to wrap up, but I must take this last story from, I think it's the governor of Ogun State, Emeka Ihedioha, has said that he's lashing out to those who are saying that he wrote a letter to the Attorney General of the Federation to continue to withhold Nnamdi Kanu. He said he never did that. Yeah. That's why would he do such? He says that they said he wrote to the federal government asking him to continue to illegally hold Nnamdi Kanu even after the court of competent jurisdiction has discharged him. That he would never do that. That when silence is not golden, he has to speak up to say to the world that he never ever. And that it was quite dubious of people to think that he would write that kind of letter. And it's really. See, I'm unduly worried, though, because our people know better, but we can no longer allow criminality to reign supreme in their state. Okay, that is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Many topics to talk about. Thanks for staying with us. So over the weekend, the former governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, was trending because according to the story online, he had expressed disgust over the trend of Japa in Nigeria. According to him, it says that all our youth and young talents are traveling out of Nigeria seeking greener pastures, and the prospective countries are deliberately giving them visas to leave the country without putting the origin that Nigeria into consideration. Now, he said something that trended. The statement that he was alleged to have said was that he said something about them being wicked. I'm looking for the statement. I can't even find it here anymore. All right, so the point is that he said that the fact that they are granting the visas to these young people is wicked. That's what was translated to. Okay. But he has come out to say that's not what he meant. He meant unfair. But you know, Nigeria, once something goes like that, everybody, the trends and the whole thing, they jumps on it and it goes. But it now reminds us again of this season. This is the political season. Every single thing you say can be twisted, be used. In fact, even your intention doesn't really matter anymore. Nobody cares. How we say it. I think sometimes when we talk about this topic, it's just a reminder.
Not necessarily even how you say it, how the person decides to interpret it.
Yes, or how they receive it. Same thing. Ashwaji recently was saying something about in Kaduna, that Kaduna State Governor had gone from rotten to bad. Now, whoever is thinking of it logically, thinking, okay, you're trying to say it's better. It's better, yeah. But how the word bad
is bad.
Was probably not the right choice of word. Maybe a better choice. Like actually gone from rotten to a bit better. That would have mean being stronger than bad. The point is that this season, the words
don't say anything.
The choices we make in expression is actually important. What are your thoughts on them? Let's start with this former governor Ibikunle when they were saying that we're jackpying and these countries should be held responsible, or why are they even granting visas to these people like that and they're jackpying? What are your thoughts on this?
So I think he's putting the blame on the countries that are just doing what they need to do to survive. Every country is sovereign and they will make decisions based on, what works for them, what is best for them at the time. If the countries were coming here with a truckload, with trucks and saying, oh, Nigerian youth, so everybody enter, we're taking you to our place to give you a better life and all, that's a different thing. But these young people are the ones opting to travel out and they are spending money to pay for the visas. They are running away from the country they have because they feel things are not working well. And for you to even get to a point where you want to japa, you have some semblance of hope, because you can afford to buy your ticket, you can afford to pay for visa, you can afford to get yourself an accommodation when you travel. So you're not even in the lowest of classes for you to say you want to travel, except, of course, God helps your community members and they gather money and decide to send you. So the blame should not be, and I understand how it seems like everybody's going and people are accepting them, but it's not the other country's fault. You apply, you get, and most times you are rejected, because I see a lot of people going back and forth for years. They don't have visas and they pay, they don't get a refund. So the question should be, why are my people running away? What is chasing them from their own country? How can we make this place conducive for them so that they will decide to stay and use their youth and energy here? That's where the conversation should be, basically.
Ma'am, when you heard the story, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, unfair, wicked, I mean, I think it's still passing the same, which is that you're putting the blame on these countries instead of our country. And whether we like it or not, there's a reason why young people are leaving Nigeria. And there's a reason why our skilled youths are leaving. So we're not here in this particular conversation. He's not even referring to people who are, finding illegal means to just run away. He's not talking about unskilled people, but he's talking about people that have put in education and money towards their development and have decided that the fruit of all their labor will be harvested in another country. And there has to be a reason for that. The other countries, do they have more appreciation for these fruits? The other countries, do they pay well for these jobs? And in comparison to Nigeria, what are we doing now that is causing this? We're talking about our naira and the value of our naira, what's happening. We're just now talking about the oil theft happening. So many, many years of just corruption, of theft just going on. And now, it has come home to roost. We're upset that other countries are taking advantage of our vulnerable situation when we have all played a part in the state of our country today. So it shows us that everything, is a cycle. You cannot steal and think that everything will be fine for just you. Eventually, it will come home to roost. You have your children, and then, it's also, people would say that is rich coming from someone in that category of a politician, and people would also refer to all the politicians that have taken by themselves their children to school abroad to enjoy the benefits of schooling abroad, and sometimes even stay back and continue jobs, abroad, or come home and then have maybe well-positioned jobs waiting for them. If you are willing to do that for your own children, why do you think that other people wouldn't want to find something they think is better for their children? Right. Anyway, it is not their fault. It is unfair, but unfair because we have been unfair to ourselves.
Interesting. What are your initial thoughts on this matter of the fact that he felt that not just, he said it was, well, they said he said wicked, but he said, no, I said unfair. Because he was speaking Yoruba. I tried to watch the clip, but unfortunately I couldn't get to that part where he said that, used that phrase. So he was they were translating Yoruba to English, but his own translation is, he said unfair. What are your thoughts? Is it really unfair for these countries to grant visas to these young people who are willing to travel?
I think that, I do actually believe that it's unfair and wicked. And the fact, and I think everybody feels it is unfair. If we're being honest with ourselves, everybody feels it is unfair that these people have created an institution that attracts our best hands. We are just, from what I heard from BC and Mariam, is that don't talk about them, take responsibility and sort yourself out. And I agree with that. But the structure of developed countries is to milk the underdeveloped. And as long as they flourish in milking underdeveloped, the underdeveloped will never develop. Because who are the people that can make our countries better? They are the ones discontent, who have the knowledge, they are uncomfortable. And while they are here, if they are trapped here, they will be forced to make things better here. They will complain on the injustice, they would fight the system, they will vote out wrong system, they would innovate new solutions, but when they have an option, they would escape. And as long as they keep escaping, the country, the impoverished country remains impoverished. So what can we do? Call out the developed countries for what they are doing. You cannot continue to play lip service to helping us and giving us palliatives when you are taking people that can help us use the palliatives well. Most businesses in Nigeria are struggling because every staff you recruit that has brain is checking out. So how do businesses in Nigeria grow to solve Nigerian problems? Who is giving them that option is wicked. Who is giving that option is unfair. When you have nowhere to go, you make where you are work. The developments you're enjoying in those countries were done by people that did not have any other option. They had to make their society work. So because you have option, you run away. I don't blame for running away, but I'm saying it is not wrong to call out them. Those people, call them out for being wicked and thinking they are helping Nigeria.
Absolutely. We're going to go on a break, but I think I hear what you're saying that. So you are the consulate general for a country, and you're here with drinking wine, having bilateral relationship, but yes, you are granting visas to my children.
Everyone that is good.
So you're just smiling and drinking tea with me, but really, you're taking my best. Let's go on a break. We'll take this further. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the statement by the former governor of Ogun State, Mr. Ibikunle Amosun, concerning the fact that he said that countries that are, he alleged to have said that countries that are giving out visas or inviting young people to come to their country are being unfair. And Tokwe tried to corroborate that claim. What are your thoughts on what Tokwe said?
So I hear Tokwe very well. And what I think is unfair is you putting the responsibility on another country for even helping you cover up your inadequacies. Because I've traveled to at least a country in Africa, Botswana, and I had conversations with their people. I realized that they don't live outside their country. So even those who go to study, maybe do their masters abroad and everything, they must come back. You know why? In primary school to secondary school, to even a point in the university level, is free education given by their government. They are not in a space where they are trying to amass and hide and loot and everything. They make it very easy that you cannot even differentiate between the poor and the rich. In Botswana, I have been there and I stayed a few weeks and I went round and I was having conversations with different schools and students and all of that. So they make it very okay for their people to thrive. You are blaming the other country that they are trying to take your people, your workforce and all of that. They are not the ones that asked you to be corrupt. They are not the ones looting money. They are not the ones that take money for constituency projects and they don't deliver. They are not the ones doing that. So they are taking advantage of the loopholes that you have created. So instead of pointing the finger outside, look inwards and ask yourself, how do I tighten my belt? How do I do it in such a way that I will be proud of being a Nigerian? And even if I travel, I will want to come back home to further develop my country. How do I do that? How do I set examples to say this place is home? By keeping myself here, even as a leader. So why do I want to enjoy the benefits of those good places because I can afford it? And I will not allow other people who they just want to be able to have the basic amenities, basics of life. And that is why they are going there. You have the basics of life. So it's easy for you to sit down and say, why are you people going there? Why don't you sit here and walk the country? How many of the country have you walked? How many have you developed? How many are you planning to develop? Or are you further enriching yourself and your generations to come, and then you want to stop other people from going?
The conversation really is the fact that if we have a bilateral relationship with a country where you're supposed to be helping each other, what Tokwe is saying is that it is counterproductive. Where on one hand, we're talking support, we're helping with insurgency, you're giving me to Kano jets, we're helping me here, and the next second, you are freely opening doors for lots of people of my own skilled labor to leave my country. So I'm not saying that's what he said, but we're looking at it on different perspectives, saying, okay, why don't we truly help Africa by investing in helping us develop our skilled labor and let them retain here and stay here.
Deny their visas?
They're not meant to help you at the end of the day. Wow. That's the truth. And we as Nigerians, two things can be right. We can have issues with our leadership, which we do. And we can also
many
have
countries
issues,
do.
Yes, and we can also have issues with our bilateral relationship because we sign not to use our coal in exchange for incentive because they feel we're going to pollute, and we sign it. We sign contracts that say that we will not allow this much emission. We sign things away that means we are making sacrifice on our part. But when we talk to the other people, what sacrifices are they making at the same time? So when you talk about leadership, I'm not saying that leadership is good here. I'm saying that it is what the foreign countries are doing is equally bad. In school last week, an ambassador of a country came to Lagos Business School. I would just not mention the name. And she was marketing their university education in their own country. What effrontery. Who do you think you are? I invite you to...
It's business.
You come to the place, you see what we're doing, and you just acknowledge... You can talk about business. The first person she pulled up was talking about their educational structure in their country and how they can speak English in their own country and how you can come and study in their own country. In a university here, that it's disrespectful. And for me, it was wrong. So when we're talking about the Western world being wrong, let's call them out because they are wrong. When it pays them, they will talk. You cannot say you are offering me help in my educational sector, you are bringing me machines, but the people that can operate the machines, you are giving them visa to go. You are saying that you are giving me to Kano jets, but those that can fly the jets, you are giving them visa to go.
Wow.
What exactly are you doing?
Who's going to fly it? Interesting. I like that angle.
And you put me in debt.
Let me take Abubakar. Good morning, I come to you, Miriam. Abubakar, are you there?
Leave me alone. Leave Nigerians alone. Leave us in our problem.
I'm shocked.
We'll solve our problem.
You're live, Abubakar. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Please, I like the last speaker. I quite agree with them. Don't have to be, I'm not blaming the Western countries. One, I'm blaming our so-called youth. Why? Because they lack consciousness, one. If they are this youth, they are running away from their own home, who is coming to develop their home for them? You are being educated here. Your father is sponsor you. Your father did not run away from Nigeria. You have been educated, spend a lot of money in Nigeria. Now you are running away to another country to go and speak for another country. So what the lack of testament, our youth lack of testament. I don't blame other countries. That is one. Then our countries too, quite okay. They are not because corruption. Corruption is too high. This amassment of wealth and so on. Unless this decrease or
I was having trouble hearing you properly, but thank you very much. I think I got the first part of your... Mariam, let me let you come in here.
Okay. So I'm smiling because I understand Tope is... You know, that patriotism, sometimes it pushes you, just want to see the best in your country. And I get it. But the unfortunate and sad thing is, the truth of our situation is not as you have described it. It is not that these foreign countries are giving us a gift with one hand and then stealing our people with the other hand. Is that you have decided you don't want to use them. We have a place that they can be used. And I'll give you good examples. We have heard many times people who have worked in the different MDAs, who have worked and have had experience for many years, and then a corrupt government comes in and puts someone because of nepotism, puts favoritism, and the person who knows how to do the job, the person who has given their time and their honesty to Nigeria, is just pushed aside. And that person is now recognized abroad. And he goes. And his children, they go. Then they leave you with the one that you have chosen, the corrupt one that has no experience, but who's your brother or your sister? And that's the thing. I did not want to use this as an example, but if we look at the story of slavery in Africa, we never really talk about the fact that we had a role to play. We were selling our brothers. And we're doing it in so many ways today. We're willing to put aside, for the gift that you're talking about, Nigeria has created an environment where those who could do best for our country. There are many people who have sat down here, have said, I really don't want to go, I really want to give my best, but look at what the country has done. They have changed this policy. I've just invested my money in this business, and all of a sudden a change in government and they've changed the policy without even sitting down with these people who have put in so much money into this business. They don't care. And then there's a country somewhere saying that, you know what, that's your idea, and that's your money, that's your capital, have a beautiful environment for you, and you think that that person should not take it. And yet, there are so many Nigerians today who have refused to take it because they believe that there's a better Nigeria. The truth of our issue concerning this conversation of unfairness, Nigeria is unfair to its people, and Nigerians, one by one, will find ways that they will do better. Now, for us, when we talk about it, I feel that we can even say it's unfair. But there are some people who are in that who are the helms of affairs, who have been part of the system that has brought this unfairness in Nigeria, that I feel that they cannot express that sort of sentiment. What they should be saying is, we need to do better for our country so that our children, our skilled youth are not going abroad. It is not for them to tell us how unfair another country is when they have played a part. You can say it and I'll understand it. BC can say it and I'll understand it, not those kind of people.
Okay, let me take this call from Elvin. He's been holding for a minute. Good morning, Elvin. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, madam.
Morning. Go ahead.
Sir.
Okay, please, I just want to chip in to this conversation. In short, to be very kind, to be very sincere with you, I don't believe that those people are unfair to us. They are very fair to us. We are the ones that are not fair to ourselves.
Yeah.
If our leaders are fair to us, they travel out, they saw what those people are doing. Why can't they reciprocate in our people? The issue is that they are not ready. And you and me know that if you have that opportunity, you will not stay in Nigeria. Myself and this is the way out of this country. Because if you look at the situation of this country today, as of today, the insincerity of this country today, he will tell you that if somebody has his way, you better leave. Because you join them. So if you cannot join them, you leave. So it's very unfair for them to come and blame those other people on the other side that they're not doing well. When you know that they're the one not doing well, you don't shift your blame to another person. In taxation, they say tax avoidance is not an offense, but tax evasion is an offense. These people are facing advantage from our impose.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. Let me go on a break. When we come back and continue this conversation, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, I'll share a story. There's somebody I know very well. I don't want to mention her name on TV, but she's such a fantastic teacher. Yeah, Auntie Martha, let me just mention her name. She's one of the best teachers I know. I mean, she teaches her kids so well, and she loves children. This is somebody that, and we've seen her over the years, how great she is doing with kids and everything. And one day she told me that, Morayo, that she's just relocating. She's thinking of relocating. She's tried different things, and it's not working. I mean, those of us that used to work with, go have our kids there, we moved out for one, the other, either because of relocation or something. So her kids she doesn't have enough kids anymore. And she's thinking, how do I sustain this business? And she's trying to just get things together. But when she was talking to me, like, such a talented woman who loves children. The kids love her so much. They're like, Auntie Martha. And here she's thinking she's considering.
Yes.
And you think so I would say that this country should not give someone like that an opportunity.
They will grab her
where
with
they will see the woman that when she goes abroad, how the kids will love her. So I think, is it right for us to say it's unfair for countries to allow someone like that to relocate?
I had a friend who finished in the university, and he worked here for a while. While he was working, he was just trying to, this was a very smart boy in the university, he was just trying to just make ends meet. He found his way, got his papers, Canada. 2 months in the workplace. You see, awards. Excellent. He was getting awards. He was sending me his awards back to back to back. He said, BC, I don't need to know the boss. I don't need to smile with the boss in the morning. I just, good morning, Morayo, good morning. I don't need to put auntie in your name. I just have to appear, show up, deliver, and I'm getting everything that is due me. I don't need to be at the table or lobby somebody to get something. That is the point where we need to get to. A lot of Nigerians feel like they don't belong here.
Let me pause you for a second. Sorry, I'm pausing you. Let me tell you, the reason I'm pausing you, that problem is a Nigerian problem.
Yes, now.
It's not just
you.
It's not a leader's problem.
Listen now. I'm getting somewhere now.
All of us are like that.
Do you want to allow me to get there?
I'll let you go. I'll get there.
Okay.
But there's an example I want to give.
Okay.
I get a call almost every day that I want to internship in TVC.
Okay.
Almost every day, somebody calls my phone. Morayo, please, my sister, my brother, somebody wants to come and say, and I'm like, all you have to do is go to the gate, apply. They will tell you who to see. If there's a test you do, you should get shortlisted. There's usually a waiting list because a lot of people want to intern at TVC. Once there's a waiting list, when you get to your turn, you get it. And it's seamless. Every 3 months, they shuffle you out. And the next person comes in. It's seamless. But they don't want to believe that it's seamless. Yeah. You have to know Morayo. You have to call somebody. They all do it. Somebody who knows somebody. You don't need to. You come to the gate and it's transparent. Yeah. Go on and apply. But nobody wants to apply.
Yeah. So
they'll call you.
Morayo, hold on, please.
No, but many companies, you go to their website, you apply, and I have companies where I work with.
Yeah. So hold on.
It works. The system works. But people don't want to believe the system works.
The system works, and I've used it on some things, and I've gotten it like that. So let's talk about it. But the problem we have is the problem of selfishness that is ingrained in all of us as Nigerians. And you see why this one is jackpying on his level. You are stealing and jackpying your family on another level. So we're all doing the same thing. Why do you call out one and not call out the other? We need to solve the problem from the root. Why are these people jackpying? What am I doing wrong that is trickling down and affecting them? That's all.
If I answer that, I'll come to the question. If I answer the question that I'm doing what I can to stop them from jackpying, but you also do your bit by
you don't jackpot, don't have a house there waiting to finish your tenure and go back there. So I'm just saying.
As long as we are we're pointing fingers. This is not a conversation about lack of leadership. We know that we have leadership challenges in Nigeria. It's not a conversation about patriotism, because we do have many patriotic Nigerians, and we have majority of selfish Nigerians. That's the truth. It is not about that. The conversation is about the wickedness or unfairness of developed countries who have opened a channel to enrich their country by taking the best of what we have. They sift out our best. Do you know how many millions pay money to go to Canada? Then they do grading and take the best of the best. Which country will succeed without his best heads?
They are not taking the best. The best are going.
Listen,
the best are going. They are opting to go.
Please, because I've listened. And it is very, very important that we address that part of the problem. All of us can talk here. I am trying to build a business. Several people are trying to build their business, not with favoritism. We are doing our best. We need hands. We need hands to put the structure in place. The hands are going, and we're not talking about it. We are pointing finger at the government. Like the people taking the visa and gathering money, people are borrowing money. They are borrowing. The next 5 years they travel abroad, they cannot earn the money back that they are using to pay for their tickets and position themselves to travel. People feel desperate, and we must address the situation, because these people over there, have you seen the videos of what happened in the UK, where people are overworked? Medical people are being overworked.
We talked about it.
It was discussed here. What is going on is a reverse psychology case. And those people doing it must be called out. It doesn't mean we should not call out. This show is not about calling out government. This show is about calling out the Western world for what they're doing to Nigeria.
Let me come to Morayo.
I don't agree with you that the crux of the matter is...
It's not the crux, but this is what the show is about.
I get it.
The crux of the matter, or what the show is about the fact that Nigerian youth, skilled Nigerian youth, are being taken away by foreign countries. That's not the crux of the matter, and that is not the matter at hand. That's just the title of what we are talking about. The root of your problem is what we are talking about. Where is it coming from? You cannot just have a title and say that is the thing. You always have to go to the root if you are really serious about solving the issue. The issue is that there's a reason Nigerians are moving out. There's a reason, not just any Nigerian. Now, I'm even talking of a specific cadre, a specific category of Nigerians, skilled Nigerians that could be doing better for our country, that they are leaving. These are people, and you said Nigerians are patriotic in so many ways. I mentioned earlier, there are many people who are still saying that they are still torn to today because they would rather stay in Nigeria and not go. But so many things every day keeps happening. And then you now have one of the people that you feel represents, that saying to you that it's unfair that those countries. But no, sir, I'm saying to you as a skilled Nigerian, that is what I am seeing. You are the person I'm seeing. The government is what I'm seeing. The administration is what I'm seeing. Past and present is what I'm seeing. And you haven't been fair to me. Simple. You haven't been fair to the years I've spent in my education. You haven't been fair to the amount of times I've worked hard, and you haven't been fair to the times I've been honest and have not been rewarded. You have not been fair. Every time I sit down and see the people who are corrupt are being pardoned, have left, you know, are earning much more than those who have given their work. That's how you have been unfair to me. And you have made it such an unfair environment. I need to go to where it's fair, where they don't, it does not matter.
Wait.
It has to be. See, one thing with corruption, this thing is a corruption issue, whether we like it or not.
Yes,
to solve corruption, it starts from the leadership. There are different levels, but it starts from the top.
I need to throw in something there. I get that. And that thing I'm hearing somewhere is saying that we're not hearing is the fact that there are many countries also that are corrupt. There are people that are not jackpying. There are many countries. We just saw a protest in France.
I agree with you.
They are protesting issues of corruption, unemployment, high prices. So many countries are there also having issues. Many countries are not as, and are probably even African countries. We're having people where they are having issues, even bigger issues that we're having in Nigeria. But the truth is, they're not totally jettisoning Nigeria and saying, you know what, I'm done.
Okay.
So we're saying that there's a deeper issue.
Let us not
there's
say
a jackpot syndrome, and there's a part of that. Are we patriotic? Do we love this country enough to even stick around? That's another
Does
angle.
my country love me back for me to even try to stick around?
How would your country love you?
No, your country will love you in so many ways. Yes, I am my country. And the people that I put as leaders are also my country. The people that I've put in to make sure that there's a system that works is also my country. Yeah. When my brother or my father or my sister goes to the war front and she gives her life up at the war front, what are the leaders doing? When I hear that my relative died at the war front because there were no ammunition, because they did not, their welfare was not even put into consideration. How is the country now loving me back? I'm not saying, see, let me tell you, one thing is, I believe I'm a very patriotic Nigerian, and I believe that unless we're all here together, we have to all work together to make our country a better place. But there are some people that do not have the moral justification to talk about
how do you fix it? How do you fix it? So if we all just say, I'm done.
Telling you, but
if we not all leave, what then happens?
No, but I am telling you now, as the leader, it starts with you. That's what I'm saying.
So we agree on that one. It's like there's nobody. Some people on YouTube are saying Dapo is not feeling Nigeria. You cannot feel Nigeria the way I'm feeling Nigeria.
Yes, you're a business owner now.
You cannot feel it. You're not the one entering the bush and facing the money left. Yes. So don't say that I'm not feeling Nigeria, because I'm feeling it. And we have to address the issues that, yes, leadership is a problem. But that's if we think leadership is them. Leadership is not them. Leadership is all of us. If you feel bad about the situation, you take it up. Currently, we have a flooding situation. I mentioned it on this show. In my ESCO at my LBS school, I'm telling them, what are we doing to solve flooding as a people? What can we do as a group? How can we solve the problem? What we are doing is saying the government, the ecological fund. Why are we not sitting up and shouting ecological fund? You have taken the case of vultures and the environment. Everybody should take ownership of something and shout about it. Because until we take leadership of the problem we are facing, I'm thinking that our governor is, if your governor is not working, you shout and you make enough noise.
Let me go
and all of us must stand up as leaders.
Let me go on a break.
Nothing will happen.
We are more than them.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up.
We are more than them in numbers, but they are more than us in power and authority and access to funds.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be wrapping up on this. Let's take a few comments on social media before we go ahead.
While they're looking for the topics, I want to say that I get very afraid when a leader, instead of taking responsibility for what is happening, is trying to pass the buck. That is the sense of what I get. So instead of sitting down, having meetings, calling people together, we have a problem in our hands. Our best hands are leaving. How do we get these people to stay? How do we make things better? Go into the streets, go into the workforces, test the pulse of the people, ask them questions. Why would you like to travel? What is your issue? What would you like the Nigerian government or your local government or this and that will do better for you that will make you stay? What would you see that will make you change your mind? Test the pulse of the people, then come back with data and say we have gone in. This is one of the problems that we have people opting to travel out. These are some of the solutions that give us a few years, give us some time. we're going to try and solve this problem. If we solve this problem for you guys, would you want to stay and build this country? Can we work hand in hand to build this country? That is when I know that a leader is speaking.
Let me take this call from Norway. Tony, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Morayo. I want to let West to know that when you call yourself, when you make yourself rat, the speaker will chase you. Okay?
I didn't hear that.
Every Nigerian that are living outside, we want to come back home. But our home is not safe. So that is the reason I want to let you to know. And you have to know that also that every country is marketing themselves.
Yeah.
That is business. Nobody wants to know how you are doing, or whether you want to succeed or you don't want to succeed. They want their own country to be succeed, not yours. That is the reason I want to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
May I round up quickly? I hadn't finished. So I remember growing up, I didn't feel so connected in my home because of all the issues that were happening. And I attempted to run away a few times because I never felt like it was a home for me. I was beaten most of the time. I wasn't heard. Nobody really understood me. I was a child that was always moody. Like, I felt my temperament growing up was melancholy because I was always moody. I wasn't happy. So the school was an escape for me. And I always wanted to go to boarding house because I wanted to run away from my father and run away from everything in the house. And when I ran away and they found me, and my father sat me down and said, what am I doing that will make you want to run away from your house? I'm your father. You are my spitting image. What am I doing? What can I do better? How can I change? And we had a heart-to-heart. He was crying. We had a heart-to-heart conversation. And he did his best in amending some of those things and ensuring that he was very insistent on how I was treated and everything. That made me feel like my father is here. That is what every Nigerian wants, that hope that Nigeria is for you. Nigeria is working for you.
Fantastic. I love
What
that.
do you want to see? What do you want to hear? We are here to serve you. Tell us that. We're not going anywhere.
Interestingly, I was telling somebody went for an interview recently, and they were asking me, what do you think about the interview? I said, listen, interviews are not for you to answer questions. Interviews are for you to inspire people. What Nigerians need today are inspiration. You need you to make them feel like, you know what, it's going to be better. Yes, everything is bleak, but I will make it better. So that's the real conversation. I hear that it makes a whole lot of sense. Let me take this call. I'll come to you, Chokwe. Ade, are you there? Thanks for calling. You're live.
Every year, we remitted over $20 billion to Nigeria from diaspora.
Yeah, true.
That's number one. Number two, every Nigerian in diaspora, what we love most is to come back home and settle down.
Yeah, I agree.
I've been in UK for 35 years. I want to come back home. But it's not safe. Our leaders is their fault because they made the policy that directs our life. So you have to blame them.
Oh, my God.
You see? So nobody wants to stay here. Mama Beji, I disagree with you on this issue.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ade. Thank you. I want to use that because I have to wrap up.
The truth for me is Nigeria has a leadership crisis. Leadership at every level. At the presidential level, House of Representative level, every level across the leaders and down into family system.
Yes.
Nigeria has a leadership crisis. Leaders take responsibility. Leaders don't blame. Leaders don't complain. Leaders fight. Leaders die. Leaders do what they need to make it work. So it is important for us to know we have a leadership crisis. Number two is the fact that there are 206 million Nigerians. How many can japa? The few jackpotting are the ones that have opportunity. Majority of Nigerians cannot afford to buy passports.
Oh, you're getting there.
They can't afford to eat. You are saying jackpot is an option.
He's still
and
a
I'm
selfish. Oh!
You say I am selfish for saying no jackpot.
Preach it.
I can jackpot.
Hey!
I could have jackpot several times.
Absolutely.
The last time I went to America, everybody was looking at me like, what are you still going back home to
Yeah.
do? People were telling me
Yeah.
the money I came to the US was enough for me to pay to arrange marriage. And everybody was saying, stay. I am here. You are saying insecurity, that Nigeria is not safe. Somebody is calling me in Nigeria and saying that I cannot come to Nigeria is not safe. Do you know what I go through every day when have you been robbed in traffic in Nigeria? Have you been robbed in traffic?
Yeah.
So you are saying Nigeria is not safe. It is easy for you to go. Go. But there are a lot more people here who have no other option if we don't sit up and fight for this country. So it is okay for you to yab me on social media. It's easy for you to sit in your home and yab me. I am on TV. I was almost burnt in this place. I'm still here. I am having conversation with my parents, and they're looking at me like, what are you still doing?
Hey.
Approaching election period. We need to do what we can to talk.
Oh.
So don't come and sing English for me here.
You have finished the show. Dr. Makodige has finished the show. Mariam, do you still need to speak?
I have something to say.
But that was fantastic. I think that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mariam.
So I just wanted to also say that people would move where, you know, things are better for them. So it's not only Nigerians that are moving from one country to the other. There are many people in Europe moving to America and vice versa. But the good thing is people move to their countries as well because their own country provides something, you know, that people want. So what we want in Nigeria is that as people are going, we're also attracting people. You mentioned a school and someone leaving. I have many examples. There's a particular school I wanted my son to go to, but they told me that most of their teachers were not coming anymore because of the situation in Nigeria. These are missionaries that are willing to give everything, but for their safety, they could not even come. That's an environment that we're talking about that could be better with a lot of things that we're doing. We're talking about the fight against insurgency. A lot of the problems we have, I believe personally that 80% of the solution against this insurgency is not with guns and standing at the war front. It's at the table. Yes, that corruption. That is where you fight it. So when we are ready, from the top to the bottom,
we know what to do.
We will see the effect.
I love the richness of the conversation we've had so much, and I love the fact that everybody has come with cogent points because it does make sense on all sides, and it depends on how you're looking at it. And I love the angle that Tokwe just came out with, the fact that if we even move, yes, you have a right to Japa, and I've always said it, the government should stop trying to stop people from traveling. They're not going to stop. Attract those who have gone to come back. That's the best way we can do it. Find a conducive environment to ensure that, listen, guys, you have earned your skill. Come here. This is what we can do for you. I think that's a better conversation. But I think also the area Tokwe took us to, which we hardly go to, is the fact that there are so many Nigerians who don't have the opportunity. Somebody telling me in my ears now that, Morayo, all I'm waiting for is money. A lot, 200 million Nigerians are waiting for money. If they have the money, they also go. But unfortunately, they don't have it. So the 0.00% of us that have the ability to buy a passport, we are also, can we also look at it that, okay, if I'm leaving, who's going to help the remaining 200 million? If only 2 or 3, 5 million of us are leaving.
But you don't see the fact that there's a sacrifice that those ones are making.
They are also making a sacrifice too. However, they have the opportunity to make a sacrifice that is beneficial to them.
Okay, so hold on, Morayo. That is one of the reasons some of us are still here. It's not ending.
I'm telling you.
That's the reason why some of us, you think I've not thought about going out?
Yeah, we all have.
I had a friend recently, a doctor, she just finished her PhD, and before I realized, I don't know if you know her, Vera. Vera has relocated, and she was busy. What are you still doing there? I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go to. I'm not even making that place. I said, no, she struggled, she did, and she was okay here. But the reason some of us are still staying and sticking our necks out, even after the fight and everything, we still find our way out, is because we have, let me use the word that, the mindset has moved. The mindset has moved from a place of survival to thriving. The majority of the people, what if I use the word on the floor, are still majorly in survival, and you will not blame them. Blaming them will be like you are covering up the wound, thinking it will heal by itself. The wound needs to be exposed so that you see what you are treating. You cannot blame them because they need to have at least,
the same thing.
No, hold on now. The basics. If they have the basics, they will begin to think of thriving. Some of us, a lot of companies in Nigeria are owned by Indians. They leave their country. You are running away from your country. They are seeing opportunities in their country, and they're coming here and they're taking over our businesses. Or people are coming here every day and they're taking over. So it's a mindset issue.
Let me tell you what we're saying.
If you saw,
let me tell you what we're doing. We're saying the same thing.
Okay, how?
These guys here, as you said, have absolutely no choice.
Yes,
they're here.
yes. They're in survival mode.
Yes, survival mode.
Yeah.
Those of us that have a bit of education, we rise a bit.
Yes.
These ones too. Then from that group, and that group gets a job. Okay. They're able to save money. So this group that graduated, and this ones that have a bit of job, they're all looking to Japa. Yes. Now they are fine. So they've forgotten these guys. They don't care, but then they've got listen, wait now. These guys here have nobody. Yes. They are stuck in Nigeria. Yes. They are there. Yeah. These ones who are educated are thinking, okay, what do I do?
They have a choice.
These ones who have a job, this level, they're not trying to Japa. So these two guys are forgotten these guys. Who's going to help these guys?
No. It's not a major generalization. There's so many people that can afford it. And they have the education and have chosen, and have chosen.
That's an up level.
Yeah, good. And they have chosen
to stay here.
Not to go.
Yeah.
Yet. Yes, because we're hoping that things will get better. And there are so many Nigerians like that. There are those who have gone And yes, they have the money to go, but do you know many things that they're sacrificing? Someone made a tweet once that said, you have parents that have children in different parts of the world. It's so sad, even to get money to come home to visit. It's hard. But they had to send them to this place to survive. It's not even about thriving. It's to survive. Because if you were here, you may not even be able to go to school. You'll be at home 8 months. Work you will not get, even though you finish with a good result, but you don't know anybody that knows anybody that can help you get there. So they have made a sacrifice that they cannot even see their children. They hear, your mom is sick. How, do you understand the sacrifice and the pain that people are going through on different levels? It's not just about money.
So, yes.
People have not left, some people have left very good paying jobs here to go abroad, not because they are making the same amount of money, but because, for heaven's sake,
Sanity.
I just need to live in a decent society.
Let me go on a break. Let's take a few comments. I'd like us to engage our social media commentators. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to take a few messages online. Yes, Maria?
Yes, I deliberately decided to take this because I want to make a small comment. Bilky says, Tope, I'm loving you extra this morning. Someone has to speak for Nigerians who have no means to japa. Nigeria needs a voice against the odds. We hope and we pray it gets better. So for us that sit here at the table, it's only about opinions. It's not about relationships. It's not about the person. We understand that everyone here has, the love of our country at heart. And we must when we have conversations, we bring them from different angles so that it's relatable to everyone. It does not mean that Tope is, because I've seen some mean comments and I think that it's uncalled for. We're all sisters here. We do this job with our hearts. We love doing this job and we love to share different opinions, given our different experiences.
Thank you, Miriam. I wanted to take some messages here. It says, Oluwaseun says, we are grinding every day to build that solution. I am a believer. Even now, Seth, I know what comes in. A lot just want free money. Jakba ko Jakbani. I want to be like BC, Tope, and Morayo. Jane Ajibade says, our president openly said that even if you go to the best schools, there's no space for you. I don't know when the president said that. So now you blame people from leaving. No, because I haven't heard that. Then Ifoma says, there are many people doing well and staying behind, but we need this number increased and opportunities for the lower cadre to be better. If I can fly, why should I settle to crawling? Let me just quickly add another, comment. So one of the reasons people are in a hurry to japa, I would say, is I want to put it on a segment now, the failure of the educational system to help us find solutions. Because I realize that people are coming in because they are seeing opportunities and they are creating solutions for those opportunities and they're cashing out. And people like us now who are beginning to see opportunities are beginning to create solutions for that. And we're not thinking of, even if we have the means to go, that's not where the focus is. The focus is on creating those opportunities. So can we find a way to begin to be solution-oriented? When you're solution-oriented in an environment, you look around and say, this thing is lacking, this thing is lacking, this thing is paining me. Where do I fit in? How do I create something? How do I... It comes from within, and that is where a lot of people are not patient enough to get. So they just want, because of the way the educational system has made it, that you go to school and you get a job. And so you go to school and the job is not coming, or the job comes and it's not paying as much as you want it. The next option is to go somewhere else where you can get a job and get paid. And that's where we are. So let's start, solving problems. Teaching children how to solve problems. They will not have a need to run.
I was speaking somewhere, and they were talking about, some lady asked a question that, the course she's doing in school, she's not sure it's going to help her get a job. And I'm like,
a job again?
First of all, this world, the world you're about to graduate into, is not the world that's looking for you to employ you.
You don't change.
That we are looking for exactly what you said, solution provider. I might give an example. I said, every mother has one problem, which is the fact that, especially if I have a daughter, who's going to make my daughter's hair?
Yeah.
I have one person doing your daughter's hair today. Maybe something happened, she couldn't come. I wish there was an app I can call them. Okay, please send me every 2 weeks. Send me somebody.
Send me a hairstylist.
You can solve a problem, or have a salon that you're on call.
Yes.
Somebody know. There are problems.
Solve a problem.
There are boys looking for these haircuts, barbers. Listen. There are problems on the ground.
solution is in
but
our hands,
unfortunately, our system is not such that it hasn't helped us to have those creative juices in our brains.
It's the educational system.
It's the system we have where you have to go to school and get a
white-collar job.
There's some young boys doing so much.
Yes. And they're still from this country.
Yes, I'm even talking like my brother, his company, Datalium, during this ASU strike of 8 months, they were able to get young people and equip them with IT, data analytics skills. I mean, these are Nigerian children, went to Nigerian schools in Nigeria, have opportunity to leave, but have decided that they'll still work. And my own prayer is that our leaders see this sacrifice and make sure that they have a better environment to do well. And I have to also give the Lagos State sort of kudos for his particular company. Lagos State has tried to help IT startups, provided them with rent-free offices for a while. So,
is the connection you use?
So, no connection. So good.
You need to hear that.
Yes. So what I want to say is that when the leadership is right, it will work, and you will see the fruits of that your sacrifice. You will see it.
I do some work for the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. I think they have money. People are not showing up. They are begging young people, please come. Bring ideas, but rather call the ED or the but please, my sister, no, help hook her up. No, go online. Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Apply. Do your own documentation. Do it, and it's very transparent. You get the money to start your business, but they don't want that. They want to call one uncle somewhere that will hire you or just give you money to start a business. That's
also the generation. This generation is a bit impatient with things, like the way we cool down and wait for things to work out. Microwave, yeah. So they just want it to happen now. Yeah. So I put in the work.
Let me let up and find
I get the results.
Then I'm out of here. Yeah.
I would always say that we are created here to solve a problem, and as long as we don't do our part, we're living crisis for every other person. So if you are in Nigeria, solve a problem. If you are abroad, solve a problem. Make life better. Let your presence make life better in any little way that you can. Find a solution to the problems around you.
Okay, so we have to wrap up today's show, and I think in a nutshell, I'd like to summarize it saying that we're never against anybody leaving the country, because the truth is that everybody would make a choice. There are some people that would not leave Nigeria and they'll have to stay. Some have the opportunity to leave and they leave. We shouldn't blame or castigate people for leaving. I think what the responsible government should do is what most countries do. Attract them back home, which was India did. Many of the young people, they even go and want to come back home. So we've got to make it such that we make this country conducive enough. When I say conducive, not just to change the aesthetics, but it's more of make business easy to thrive. Make policies that help for businesses to thrive. Make it easier for Nigerians to say, you know what, I want to come home and rest. Because many people do want to come home and invest in this country. Yeah. That's all we can take on this show today. When we come back, we'll see you on tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yes.
Have a great day. Bye for now.